Welcome back, tribe. Have one here from Talk That Thought. Another one gets instantly replaced after divorcing her husband.
Does he already have someone else? I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel like shit. It really does. It makes me feel horrible about myself. And I wish it didn't. But it does.
You left him. Get over
Welcome
it.
back, family.
To make a video in response to what someone commented on another video about my children's father, H, wanting, like, pressuring to file for divorce because he possibly has someone else. And it's something that I wish this person hadn't commented, because I have been thinking about that, and it makes me feel even worse than what I already do.
Aww.
Because it's something that I've definitely also thought about, and his actions have made me think that this is a possibility. And it's just not good for my self-esteem. When I knew he was coming after 3 months of not seeing him and him not seeing his kids, I even offered for him to stay here. I thought it would be a better transition for the kids to see him, and then we would talk to our daughter, our oldest daughter, 7 months, 7 years. Oh, 7 years old, almost 7 years old. And he didn't want that. He said he wanted his space, and he is a person that wants his space. When he's next to me and he's on his phone, he kind of goes like this, the pressuring. And then he already talked about, when we were talking about how we were going to be before we talked to our daughter, and how we wanted, I said, I want this to be okay. We weren't meant for each other, but that doesn't mean we have to be enemies. And it's good for them to see that we can even be friends, right? And have like moments that it's the four of us. So yeah, the different behaviors have gotten me like thinking, does he already have someone else? And it does make me feel like shit even more. It really does, because I feel like I'm that easily replaceable. For 12 years that I've been with him, I feel like I've begged for his love, and
oh boy,
it's like, the harder, the more the people play hard to get, the more you want that person. I feel like that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know that he is not the person for me. It's an ego thing. I know that. I know it's an ego thing. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel like shit. It really does. It makes me feel horrible.
You don't want him, but you don't want anybody else to have him. You don't want him. It's an ego thing, but he's not allowed to talk to anybody else. Do you see how selfish they are? Do you see what the rot in the West has brought to the modern world? Do you see what I'm talking about? The selfishness, the greed, the narcissism. Look, man, she doesn't even want him. It's bad enough, right, to just say, well, if I can't have him, nobody else can. Okay, great. You're greedy. We understand. But the fact that you don't even want this guy, and you know where you see this stuff? The nice guys that have absolutely no spine, and a girl will manipulate him and use him in the friendship to get all the boyfriend benefits without the guy asking for anything in return, until he finally does withdraw his attention. And all of a sudden she starts liking him. She starts thinking about him. She starts vying for his attention back. She starts to treat him with respect, all because he started showing attention to another woman. It's okay to be used. It's okay for the succubus to drain you of your life, as long as she's the only one that does it. The moment you turn your attention away to another woman is the moment you'll get the woman you want to look at you. So stupid that it works that way.
About myself. And I wish it didn't, but it does.
It does.
So then I feel like maybe it's time to just like rip the Band-Aid off and like start dating myself, or, seeing what's out there. And I know a lot of people say, no, you're not ready, and you got to learn to love yourself before you can love someone else.
That's good advice.
You gotta be by yourself. But I feel like I have been for the last 12 years, actually. I feel like I have been by myself.
You see
in
how
a
they
certain
cope?
way.
Wow.
I've been with someone, but he's been doing his...
I didn't sleep with that guy. It didn't count. He was bad in bed. Oh, that one didn't count. I didn't remember his name. Oh, I was married, but I was alone for 12 years. Felt like it. Unbelievable.
His own thing this whole time, and I'll get into that in another post. But
wow.
yeah, part of me just wants to just like, let's go, let's move on, let's do this, because I do not like feeling like I'm not worthy of people's love. It's something that I definitely felt towards H, that I feel towards H sometimes, because it's just different for men and women. I mean, and that's just the way it is. Like, anyone can argue that, oh, no, it's not. Like, women have it 10 times harder. We are the caretakers. We have the invisible load. We take care of the kids and work, or some people just take care of the kids. But like, we have an amount of work and responsibility and mental like load. Yeah, when it comes to the kids, that's just not, it's not the same. I mean, biologically, we nurse, or some, not all. So while H was able to really dedicate himself more to his career, I've had to split myself. And
he dedicates himself to career. He's not providing for his family. She's got the invisible load here. The guy's probably put in extra time at work simply to provide for the said family. He's spending time away from the thing he loves in order to make sure everybody's happy. He's got it easier, bro. Come on, man. You being a stay-at-home mom, infinitely more difficult than being away from your family. We all work because we enjoy it. Unreal. Dude.
Has been extremely difficult. We both work in video production, and since I've known him, H has always traveled for work, and I completely get that and whatnot. But once we had, our daughter, it continued, which is fine. It was just more of a feeling like it's not the same for me. Like, I can't just up and leave, for weeks at a time, sometimes almost a month. And like, I couldn't do that, I would, or I could, I know I could if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. And so, of course, it was like, he is, moving up in his career, and I am staying stagnant, and that is frustrating.
Wow.
And then finally, when my daughter turned 2 and I came back to the United States after, living in Mexico for such a long time, and offered a bigger position in a production company, and I took it. It was the first time that I was away from her, and working a full-time job.
Like your man.
I loved it. I really enjoyed that, and I realized that I can't be just a stay-at-home mom.
You see why it's important to vet? When you meet a woman, always ask them, what's your goal in life? How do you see your life? If you could dream up the perfect reality, what would it be? If she doesn't say instinctually, I want to raise kids, I want a big family, I want to be at home with children. If she goes, well, I would love a big career, let them tell on themselves. This is a guy that got married to a woman that secretly, I don't know if it was even secret, or her aspirations in life were career first, not family, not very feminine. She went to work and enjoyed it more than being a stay-at-home mom. That's a very masculine energy. Guys, you have to understand that these dudes got down on one knee, offered a ring to women that told on themselves, and the guy ignored it every step of the way, and he ends up getting burned. They tell you what they want. It's a very simple question. There's no ulterior motive. Where would you like to see yourself? See if we have chemistry. See if we mesh. See if our vision of the future fits like two pieces in a puzzle. If not, next. Stop getting into these relationships. Stop catching feelings. Stop wasting time on these women just because you're thinking with the little man downstairs. And then you won't get into this trouble. Find people you're compatible with. People that have the same vision. If this chick's dream was to be a stay-at-home mother, was to raise the kids, was to have a big family, this wouldn't have even been an issue. She would have been happy, but she got brainwashed into thinking an office job is somehow more fulfilling than children and a family. Like, that's madness. People only go to work because they need to survive. Nobody likes going to work. There's nothing enjoyable about it. Are you shitting me? I would rather be at home with my own kids, period, every single day, than step foot in some corporate cubicle, soul-crushing office with a boss that's incompetent, yelling at me about spreadsheets and deadlines and whatever other bullshit. I have no impact on the company. I'm just a cog in a giant machine. I don't matter. I have no meaning. It's a meaningless existence besides the fact that they give me a check every week. You think that trumps a family at home, your own kids saying, daddy, daddy, mommy, mommy, I love you, and all the core memories you unlock and have with your children? Get out of here, dude. The fact that we managed to convince women of all that children aren't their number one, we can convince anybody of anything then. We've overridden biology in people's brains.
And it's important for me to work, and that gives me joy as well. But when it came to like being able to travel for work, I was never available for that. Like because I didn't want to leave my daughter. My daughter's also autistic. So I try to limit these drastic changes in her life as much as possible. And I'm been the one constant factor. So I can't just like up and go for a couple weeks or a couple of days even. And I know that's been my choice and whatnot, but yeah, there is resentment there when he can and he does and I don't. And again, I know that that's my choice. Now, it's very difficult.
Remember what I told you about the adversarial mentality in the West today? Instead of her looking at this as a win, as them coming up together, she's comparing herself to her husband. Why would you ever do that? Your husband is someone you build with, not you compare yourself against as a benchmark for what you should be doing. And then you get resentful, you get bitter, you get sad, and you get discontent with your entire situation, thus destroying your marriage. Wow, man. Yet another learning lesson for everybody.
Well, it's very difficult to be able to work even now. I have my own company and I've decided to have my own company to give me the flexibility of being the mother that I want to be, but also having the career that I want to have. And it's not like, I don't, I don't.
Shit, Sherlock.
H right now is in Miami, then he's going to go to Mexico, and then, he goes to Jamaica and he goes all over the place. And I don't because I don't want to disrupt my kid's life.
You did
I'm
already.
still nursing my son. So yeah, there's resentment.
This is what feminism has done to modern women. Her all body and soul is literally letting her know what she should do because it's what she really wants. But her indoctrination of pursuing her career is always interfering and pushing her to completely destroying her family.
I want to clarify something because I think that I might be coming off as a victim here, and I'm not. I'm a victim of myself. I'm not a victim of H. I'm a victim of myself. He is not a bad person. He's not the right person for me. I'm not the right person for him, unfortunately. That hurts. But he's not a bad person. And this divorce is amicable. At least up until this point, we're on the same page about doing things this way for our kids, for ourselves. I'm not on a place like I can't see him. I can't see him with another person right now, but I can see him. My mind is my worst enemy. Sometimes I am my own worst enemy.
We have awareness coming online
here. For instance, like this is going to be difficult to say because makes me sound like a crazy person. And I realize that, but it's the truth. And I said that I would be raw and unfiltered, right? Even though I don't want to be with him anymore, there is a part of me that wants him to still want to be with me. And when I kind of think about like what gets me upset or why am I so sad about certain things, of him wanting to also go through with the divorce, if I don't want to be with him. And it's this craziness, or I don't know, maybe it's like just human. Here it is. My problem is not that I don't value myself or I don't have self-love. I think if I didn't, I would continue to be in this relationship. And I feel like this found awareness of myself and the self-love has brought me to this point of wanting to get the divorce and move on and find someone or many someones that fulfill me, more. But what hurts me is that I feel he doesn't value me the way I value me. And that's what really hurts.
And I was wrong about the self-awareness because it's completely absent. Wow. And this comment says, my daughter is autistic, so I try to limit these drastic changes in her life. Like kicking her father out isn't drastic at all. Jesus. Women, I want. Women, why are men so selfish? Getting married in America. Good job. What on earth drives women to spew their personal problems to a bunch of strangers in the first place? Is privacy not something women value? Apparently not. Be friends after putting him through the legal ringer. Well done, ladies. Well done. It's scary how these women talk casually about divorce as if it's no big deal. Yeah, the institution of marriage is a complete joke in the world today. I should say in the Western world. It's talked about as like you going to go grocery shopping for some milk. It's just something you do. It happens. It's completely natural. And if you don't feel happy in your relationship, even the minute inconvenience is grounds for divorce. That's not your soulmate. Because if you have your soulmate, everything should be picture perfect like a Disney movie. And then it isn't. And then you find out, wow, marriage is actually work. Wow, there's a lot of compromises. Wow, it's two individuals coming together to create something better than they otherwise would have had if they were by themselves. Nope, it's nothing. The messaging has completely changed. It's gotten so twisted now that they actually convince themselves that only men benefit from marriage. There's a bunch of articles that tell you how women only lose by getting married. That's how insane it's gotten. I think we covered that a bunch of times on the channel before, where women are citing studies about how single women of a certain age range are happier unmarried and all this crap to cope with the fact that you're going to collect cats, you're going to collect box wine, and you will wake up one day surrounded by nothing but a pack of cats and a lightning bolt will hit you. You have the epiphany that you made the wrong decision and there's no walking this one back. Mother Nature will show you the consequences, which is your troop of cats feasting on your dead body because no one will know you've been dead for weeks until the stench becomes so bad your next door neighbor in the apartment calls the police because nobody visits you. All your girlfriends moved on. The Sex and the City stuff, temporary, it doesn't last. They all have their own men, their own kids, their own lives. You disappear. You're of no importance. Your parents passed away, and now you could hardly afford your Netflix subscription. Pathetic. All for a plaque on the wall and just to say, I did it. I was a good old slave for a corporation. Congratulations. You played yourself.